going on YouTube? Your girl Yolanda Randolph here. Go ahead, click the subscribe button, tap that notification bell, and hit that like button for you, girl, okay? So we can go ahead and get this thing moving, shaking, and popping.
Her Intuition Podcast is a platform to remind all women of their worth and to encourage them to dig deep within themselves for better.
Hey now, we are at another Tuesday, another Tell It Tuesday, and I know that you are having a blessed one. And if you don't feel like it, wait a minute, take some time and look at those blessings around you because they're there. You just have to acknowledge them, okay? So, with that being said, pain. Who cannot raise their hand to that? Who has not been in pain where you feel like you want to just take your hair out, where you feel like you just want to roll up in a ball and just disappear? I know I can raise my hand for that. Matter of fact, I can raise both hands for that. I have been in so much pain that I didn't even know what to do. I didn't even know where to turn. But if it wasn't for me praying, if it wasn't for me meditating and just getting in touch with myself and talking to the good Lord up above, I might have went somewhere and disappeared. And if it wasn't, now watch this, if it wasn't for me learning to embrace my pain, yep, I learned to embrace it because during that pain came the brightest side of life that I didn't even know exists. There's stuff in me that I didn't even know was there until I went through the hell. God oftentimes leave little crimpets of sunshine within your pain. He leaves your next level in life through your pain. Other phases in your life through your pain. Yep, that's where it is. That's where it is. And you want to know what? The greater the pain, and this is just me speaking, this is from my experience, the more it hurt, the more it burns, the greater my blessing. That's with everything that I've been through from the time that I was a child, from what I can remember, from the time that I was a teenager, dealing with stuff in my teenage life, dealing with that teenage pregnancy. Yeah, I had a teenage pregnancy. We had a miscarriage, but I did. Dealing from that brought on things now that I do understand better. Had I not went through that, I wouldn't understand what I'm talking about when I'm talking to another young girl that was just like me, who has dealt with the shame and the embarrassment of getting pregnant. Had I not been through it, then I wouldn't know. Had I not been through the pain and the hell that I went through in my 20s of being in an abusive relationship, I couldn't come to those who need it now. I couldn't be that person to talk to the women who are going through the hell and the abuse. I've been through it. I've been through it. I lived through it. In my 30s, a man just walked out on me, my husband. Had I not had that happen to me, then I wouldn't have, this is the big part, the books, the podcasts, the blogs, all of the stuff that I do now wouldn't have come like it is today had I not went through the hell to get here. So each step in your life, each pain that you go through in your life is the prerequisite to get to where you're going. To get to where you're going. It's a step to where you're headed. Just like you have those classes in college, you all know the ones who have been going there now, taking classes now. Sometimes you have to take, matter of fact, it's not sometimes, it's all the time. Even in high school, you have to take the pre-classes, the prerequisites to get to the other class that you really need to get in to get your diploma or your degree. That's the same thing with pain in life. That's how I look at it. In order to get to a higher side or a bigger side or let's put it like this, the area where God wants you to be, the blessings that he has for you, you have to go through a series of steps. A lot of times It's a series of painful steps. Learn to embrace them every day, because they're coming. If you have somewhere where you're trying to be, and most of us are, if you have somewhere where you're trying to be, know that there's going to be some painful moments. Perhaps not as painful as some of my moments, but you will go through some hell. Be ready to embrace them so that when you get over to the other side, you will know exactly what's going on. You will know exactly where you come from. You will know exactly how to help others. It's very important to embrace it. I know it feels like hell right now. My God, I felt my heart breaking inside of my chest. Shout out to another blog, another podcast, and a blog episode. Shout out to them, because I talked about that. I have felt my heart crack in the inside of I have never had that kind of pain before in my life. But had I not went through it, I wouldn't be in the place that I'm in today. Oh my God. I'm glad now that I've been through the hell. I'm happy about that now. So if you're going through hell, embrace it and keep going. My friend Steve Harvey once said, if you're going through hell, keep going. Why stop? Yeah, keep going and embrace it as you go. Because you'll later find out that you needed that pain in order to get where you're going. Also, my friend Brianna Baker. Shout out to Brianna. You can find her on social media, Facebook and Instagram. Behind the Screens and Media. She is great at what she does. Check her out. She once told me and our audience, shout out to the Chick Chat podcast, that you can monetize off your pain. Monetize off it. It's your pain. So while you're going through the hell, write it down. Write it down. You don't know what it will become. Case in point, your girl here. Personal experience. And speaking of writing it down, if you have not already, join that roller coaster, the Devious Deception roller coaster. All of that came from the pain and the hell I've been through. Now the storylines are a little different, but I drew off my pain. And I embraced my pain, so you embrace it. You can find them on Amazon. Shout out to the book that was just released in May. Very proud of it. Vex, Demise of a Sweetheart. That is part 3 of the Devious Deception series. Part 1 and 2, you can find those on Amazon as well. Wolf in Sheep's Clothing is part 1. Eyes of the Enemy, part 2. Great storylines. If you're new to the ride, welcome. And hold on to your seats, your hats, as I like to say. So, that's that. The Chick Chat podcast, please join us. We would love to have you. We are on Facebook. We're on Facebook Live. We're on Instagram. We're on Anchor, Apple Podcast, and we're on some other ones too. YouTube. Yes. We're on YouTube as well. And we're probably on more podcasting platforms. I just can't think of them right now. So check us out. Remember, it's Chick Chat, not Chit. Don't get it confused with that. CHICHAT podcast. So with that being said, blessings to you. Remember, embrace your pain. Embrace it. Because you need that pain to be able to get to the other side. God leaves those little crimpets of what's needed to be able to move over to the other side, okay? So embrace it. And prayerfully, we will chat again next week.
Thanks so much for listening. And be sure to follow me on my #HerIntuition page on Facebook and on Instagram at Yolanda Randolph Publications.